Happy Friday, and welcome back to another installment of Sports Corner with Cole. I'm Cole Young, and we have a whole lot to cover this week, so let's get right to it. The March Madness tournament is still in full swing. The Sweet 16 kicked off yesterday, and take a look at who is advancing to the Elite Eight.
Two number one seeds went down yesterday, with Arkansas beating out the number one team in the nation, Gonzaga, 74-68, and Houston coming out on top over Arizona, 72-60.
The rest of the games will take place today, starting at 4:09 p.m., when Purdue takes on the Cinderella story of this year's tournament, St. Peter's. This has already been a wild ride of a tournament, and I am thrilled to see its conclusion. Speaking of wild rides, this has been without a doubt the most insane offseason for the NFL. A few weeks ago, I mentioned Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos. Then, Tom Brady came out of retirement. Arguably the best receiver in the NFL, Davante Adams, was traded to the Raiders from Green Bay. Carson Wentz was traded to the Commanders after just one season with the Colts. Khalil Mack signed with the Chargers, etc., etc. All of that took place within the first few days of free agency. Last week, I mentioned that there was still a few big names left unsigned. Well, after about a week, most are no longer unsigned. Just Wednesday morning, it was announced, seemingly out of nowhere, that the Chiefs had traded their best wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, to the Miami Dolphins. Hill was given a 4-year, $120 million deal in Miami. He'll now join an offense that has a good amount of young talent, as well as enough speed to fill a track team. On top of this shocking news, two big-name quarterbacks will be playing in new uniforms. Former Houston Texan Deshaun Watson inked a new deal with the Cleveland Browns for 5 years for a staggering $230 million. On top of that, former NFL MVP Matt Ryan has been traded from the Atlanta Falcons after spending 14 seasons there to the Indianapolis Colts. He'll replace Carson Wentz as the leader of that offense. Probably the biggest name that is still in limbo is Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. After the Browns began discussing the possibility of signing Watson, Mayfield requested a trade out of Cleveland. But after being told they were out of the Watson race, the Browns declined Mayfield's request. Then, after another twist, as I said earlier, the Browns did sign Watson. That leaves Mayfield still on the Browns roster, waiting for a trade. With each passing day, the teams that were in need of a quarterback are slowly filling those slots. This is leaving Mayfield with very limited options as to where he can be traded. It's an interesting facet of this offseason that has seen massive blockbuster trades and signings. One team that's still without their guaranteed starting quarterback is the Seattle Seahawks. Just something interesting to think about. Switching gears, pun intended, over to racing, the first F1 race of the season took place in Bahrain last weekend. Last year's world champion Max Verstappen of Red Bull was neck and neck with Ferrari's Charles Leclerc all race. The race was a nail-biter from start to finish, and Leclerc held the lead strong. Verstappen then had a multitude of car troubles that not only took him out of second place, but caused him to not finish the race at all. Sergio Perez, Red Bull's second driver, was also unable to finish the race after spinning out on the final lap. Ferrari was able to take both first and second place in the race and contributed to an absolutely electric start to the racing season. The next race is this Sunday and will start at 10 a.m. Pacific time. There are very few sporting events in the world bigger than the Masters, and this year, the tournament will be without one of the biggest names in golf. Phil Mickelson will not compete at Augusta this year for the first time since 1994. This comes after Mickelson received backlash for comments made about the new Saudi Arabian Super Golf League. Even though he will not be participating, there, as always, is still plenty of buzz and excitement for this year's tournament. Jon Rahm and Rory McIlroy currently sit as the two favorites to put on the green jacket. Rahm has been in the top 10 in his last 4 appearances at Augusta, so he seems to be a lock. The tournament starts on Thursday, April 7th. This weekend is supposed to be perfect weather, so here are a couple games and events to check out nearby. Cal State Fullerton Baseball has a 3-game home stretch this weekend against UC Riverside. The LA Kings play at home Saturday night against the newly formed Seattle Kraken. The 38th annual Spirit Run will take place in Newport Beach this weekend. This event raises funds and donates the net proceeds to local schools. This quote-unquote race has events for people of all ages, from toddlers to seniors, and even for dogs. Sounds like a great event for a great cause, so check out their website for more information. As always, thank you for joining me on Sports Corner with Cole. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, hopefully filled with sports, and if you can, enjoy some of the beautiful weather. I'm Cole Young, and I'll see you next time.